Welcome back, dear students. In this lesson, we are going to continue our learning on GitHub, which is part of this beginner course to introduce to AI enhanced Web3 blockchain development 101 course, where you set up and get ready to start your journey fully into smart contract dApp development as a blockchain developer. So you need all these things, and especially GitHub is what we have set up a lot of Web3 tools and things which we have now been using. Now one of it is GitHub. And so in the first section of the lesson video, we have discussed about installing Git, then GitHub account, opening GitHub account, then creating your first GitHub repo, cloning it on your PC, then how you can add whatever you want to add to the code and then push it back and keep pushing and things like that. So now we really want to now focus on how can you contribute to open source. These are some of the essential basic skills you need with GitHub to contribute to a open source project on GitHub, which normally you already know, okay, you want to do this, then you do, and this as well will help you with the project you want to do. So whatever the project is on GitHub that's open source, I need you to create a PR. You'll be hearing pull request, which is PR. What are those things? How are they done? I will do them step by step for you. So prepare yourself again and maybe take a drink, preferably just water, because it's here another in-depth lesson. Yeah, so from where we stopped from the previous one, we've been able to take this, if you remember, and push it, and then we were able to have this Spotlight project one branch and fix this broken image and everything is working. Now let's assume this is the project, whatever the project it might be, and you want to contribute to it as an open source. Either you are hired or you are being tried, or just an open source you find like, okay, I think I need to start because most open source contribution allow you to do free, as long as you do something that fix a problem or a bug in that code, they will accept it. So and you follow their contribution terms. So you don't need complex something. It can be a typo error, I'm telling you, and you'll be surprised in the readme. So all those things can. So now let's say you have this from the Programming University. Remember to follow the account. If you go to GitHub, you click follow. Let's go back. Then let's see the repos. We are dealing with Spotlight projects. So it's a good practice for you to star. Star is like yours on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, you do like. So all this also help the algorithm. They can recommend this open source project to others. That okay, people are finding it helpful. So when people are searching for something relating to it, it may help you to even rank better, because star means people find it helpful. So you star it, this is the programming, but I'm in like through my personal account, so I can give it a star. So you should also remember to star it when you're working on the project as well. So that's the first step. You star it. The next thing is, okay, you want to contribute, you found something wrong that you can contribute, and you have seen that they allow open contribution. Some, they may be open source, but they are only allowing contribution mostly from people within the organization or something. But most open source will allow just anybody, as long as you follow the terms and your code are neat and fix the issue. So now let's come here. We have this code. You know, usually you are not the owner of the repo. You don't have access to the admin. You don't have anything. So you just see this on GitHub and you've seen you want to contribute to it. So you can download zip. I usually prefer, but if it's heavy, because there are some repo they are super heavy, you had better download the zip. But usually remember what you did then. You click this, but that shouldn't be what you do, because this is not your repo and you can't push to it. So the first thing you want to do, you start. The next thing is to fork. So what fork means is you are creating that same thing, a copy, 100% of it on your own account. So that now make it possible, any changes you want to do to it, you can do. Because here now, let's assume I'm not the owner, I don't have access to the programming university, I can't edit anything, I can't do anything. I will just be here. You understand? I will just be here. I can't do anything. Here now, you know, you don't have access. It's just, let's assume we want to open this and we open it in incognito. You don't have access to it. Like I was saying, it's just an open source. They don't even maybe know you're part of the team or things like that, but you want to contribute. So you see it now. You won't have anything like add, remove, edit. So basically this is what you will have. Basically this is how you have it. So, and then your own account signed in. You must have your account signed in before you can start and fork. So fork means you now copy it on your own GitHub account. Then you can adjust any changes on it and push it to your own version of it. You understand? So we'll do it together. You understand? So don't get confused. So when you are there in such a situation, so everything is working, you go to code. You see your normal one, if it's your repo, you would have just done this and then start pushing. But now you can't do that here now. So once you log in, you'll be able to see that, like I said, you will see this fork. So that fork is what you need to do first. Next, after the start, then you fork. So it tells you which, based on, you know, your personal account. That's, I'm now forking it from the programming. Let's assume I don't even have access to my personal account. So usually it's good to keep the name, but you can adjust the name. But usually you may just keep the name. So everything, you don't need to really do anything. Yeah, so all you just need is create fork. You can see it. Create fork. Copy the main branch only. So you don't usually want to copy, because most of these are some work they do then to now add this. Is your own that you want to be like this. So you just create fork. Good, you can see it now. This branch is up to date with, so this we keep, because one good thing about it is GitHub itself will be tracking and be telling you if there's update to that repo. You don't need to even go there, you have not seen it. Once you open this repo anytime, it will tell you, oh, this repo already had an update, so you need to add update to it. So let me quickly just do something. Good luck. better still, let me just make this. Okay. So it become clickable. So what I want to do is I want to do changes so you see it. dProgramming.university.com. Yeah, good. So I did this now, and when you see this green, these are part of, I think, the git lengths or things like that. Also, these are new changes, and you see modified that have not been committed. So when it's committed, it's changed to like blue. Then when it's pushed, it's cleared off or something. So now if I do git status, which we have learned before, then the next is git add. Then the next I want to do is git commit, which added signature to readme.md file. Am I done with that? So I want to status, you see, I want to push. You know that I've already cloned before they did a push. That's what I'm trying to show you, that after GitHub is able to help you track it, so you don't need to go and start copying the code one by one somewhere else. No, you just fork it and then you have 100% the copy of it. And then new update after that, you will get notified and you can update it. So if we check this now, this is already up to date. And then if we check here, this, the programming itself, and you see, it doesn't have, okay, this one, we change the conclusion. So I just added the section under this conclusion. Here you have it, you see Solomon Foske, founder, dProgramming University, which I can open up and confirm the link I put is working. So good, this working, a lot of free courses to better become a pro Web3 developer you can check out. So that said, let's now get back. So you remember this one now is under your own personal account, like my personal account. Let's assume I don't have access, but they have made changes to this, which you can see it added signature, and this 1 minute ago. If I come here again now, let's duplicate it so we can compare. You see, it says forked from, so people can know that, okay, this was forked from here. Click it and go back. Then you see this branch is one commit behind, you see it, said is one commit. Compare it to this. This branch is up to date. So because once after I clone it, they updated it. So I don't need to go and be looking for the file, they change again to add manually. No. This auto track it, that's the benefit of forking. Instead of trying to just copy the code one by one or somewhere. And then when you want to contribute, you have to fork, because that will allow you to easily do pull request for them to merge it into their own. So this branch is one commit behind. You see it, sync fork. Compared to here, it said no changes. This branch is not behind, you see, there's nothing. But immediately it has, you see it, this branch is out of date. Update branch to keep this branch up to date. by syncing one commit from the upstream. Do you see it now? Then, and you will notice that this is still, readme is still fixed broken images. And it has, even if I refresh it, because this is already on my own GitHub account from the open source project I want to contribute to. You see it, nothing like that. Whereas the open source already have this founder. So let's, if we get back, so we sync. You see, updates. You can even compare, but since we know what's there, we can just, to be sure if it will break your update or something. Can you see now that immediately it does that? It pull everything from that, you see, added signature, because you see, I was the one working on it, but in this case, you won't be the same person. It's people in that organization. So that's what I'm saying. Assume, don't think it's showing you here. It's not showing you, it's showing me, because I'm the also having access to that organization. I'm the one that updated it. Yeah, that's why you are seeing me here. Good. So you won't see yourself there. But when you are approved for PR, which we'll do together, you will actually see yourself there. So now we have this up to date. We scroll down, now contain the last update we did, including this. So we have this, the actual original one forked. And see it, we start it, and when we do that, it will be showing like they will not like fork it as. So you see it here, because like a copy like that. So here now, the next thing you want to do is you can now follow the same level to clone to your system. So you can now clone, because when you clone now, you can push back to this repo, because it's now your own. It's your own. Whatever changes you do here doesn't go and affect their own, which you don't have access to, except you do PR and they check and approve it. So now let's copy this, and then as usual, we did in the project then. So that I can differentiate them. So I created a folder fork repo, because they will bear the same name, so they will be confusing. So inside the fork repo, I want to open my terminal. Just remember, inside the something git clone, I want to clone it, because this is now in my own account. I can work, and you notice Solomon Foske, that's the GitHub. So we enter, and as usual, I said it's cloning this. So you copy that precise name and allow it to totally clone it. So you see it now. So if you get error, just retry the same thing. So you see it. I think that was heavy. I ought to have reduced that image size. I think I did it. It ought to have been like a JPEG, so it will be much smaller. Is that image that added to iFile to it? So you should take note of that. So now I can just CD into that folder, and if I ls, and I have readme, you remember images and all those things there. So remember, I code to open it in code. And if I go here, forked repo, you see, it's now having like, so if I have done it here, it will be two. I may not know the one that is the original one, the one that I forked. So yes, I trust the author. So you can see it like that. It's like you are now having like 100% of the same repo. You see, when you put it side by side. Let me put this to this side because I'll be working on that one now. Then let's reduce this. Yeah. Good. So you can see it now side by side. That's just purely the same thing because that was what we actually got from there. So, but I know that this is the one I have access to. So let's assume I'm not the one working on this. So here now, what do I really want to do? Maybe I want to respond, exploring the revolution, the new decentralized internet. That okay. Remember all those things I told you need to do. You have your terminal, and then you can git remote, or let's say even git status first. You see it, then git remote version v. So you see what is showing me. If I expand this, that this is Solomon Foskey. Compared to here, which it was previously, when you check it, if I do git version v, let me just git remote v. Do you see it? That this one is git slash the programming university spotlights this and this, whereas this one we are working on now is slash Solomon Foskey. So you see that they are on different GitHub accounts. So that's how you contribute to an open source. So you are now having the same version of repo in your own care, in your own control. You can fetch, you can push. So from there now, you can start making your changes. Let's say here now you want to make a change to maybe this need to be on a different line. You understand? I think Markdown, does Markdown respect space like that? Yeah, I think so. Let's see. So you see it now. Then maybe over here, I want to answer one of the questions, unlock, and that's how you do the project. You put a new link and say, okay, the new, I learned about how Web3 evolved from Web 1 to Web 3 and the decentralization it brought. So that's it. We move to the next one, unlocking potential blockchain. In this lesson, I learned a lot about blockchain technology like nodes, chains, validator, consensus, algorithm or mechanism or whatever, sensor. You understand? To prepare me as a blockchain developer. Look at this as something that you can submit for gig or your person that want to employ your partner with you later in future as proof of the things you've done. So let's say I've fixed all these things, I've responded, I want to respond to them, which is how you yourself you will do. So that's why I want the project to be practical, because that's how you contribute to open source. Now I've done that. You get, for example, let's say on different platform or freelance gig or something, you may need to submit PR. So you have contributed whatever the code, everything, you tested it is working. So it's time for me to move on. So what I want to do now is, usually, when I get status, it tells me things I've adjusted. Do you see it now? So all these things is wrong. I did this the wrong way. And that is what I want to tell you now. Don't ever do things like this. You just move this, no, don't do that. I will now do the right way we need to do it now for us. Let me undo everything we have done. So if I do this, it's still modified. Yeah, because I undone, I didn't save. Yeah, you see that the modifier has disappeared because it's now back to when I started. You can see it now. Yeah. Now, when you have this, the first thing you want to do is to create a new branch. Don't push to the master, because to the main. Now, that main is what they themselves are going to show on their open source, and they won't clean all their code to replace it with yours. It's just an aspect you want to fix. You understand? So to ensure that, that's what brought about all these branches. You work on the branches and then you use it to do a PR, which I will do with you as well. So you have a very, very solid experience with it. So now, to do that, I think I copied that text. I don't want to lose it because I just want to copy it. I don't want to type again. So let's do this together. So now you got stuck, you need help in the lesson. There's always, each lesson has its own comment. Remember, getting direct help for each specific lesson is best through the comment under the lesson, not other lesson, or join the GitHub to collaborate with other Web3 developer to be up to date with news from DPU official and things like that. But when you have specific lesson question, do yourself the best good to post directly in the specific lesson to be at least sure you will likely get a response from the author like me. So if not, you are not assured. So that being said, let's get back. We have this now. So you need to, how do you now create a branch? When we go back here, this says we have used all this branch. This Git branch. If we come here and do this, let's take this up more so we see what we're doing. you can always do clear. When you type clear, it will clean all these things. So if you want to clean it, but because I'm teaching you, I don't want to clean it. Let me paste this, git branch. Do you see it? It says I only have one branch, which is main, and that's true. So I want to create more branch. Then I can have this. Back here. Then remember, I need to new branch name, the name of the branch. Check out that B means create a new branch, and the name should now be, remember, like the project says, your name. So whatever you want to contribute, give a name that relates to it, very short and not too long. So in this case, based on following the project, I will name this Solomon Foske. So if I want to be naming it, I mean, you understand, name it V1, version 1, or whatever my contribution. But for here now, like if you are doing your project now, it has to be the name that will be your full name, that will be like on your certificate. So for the course and things like that. So you have Solomon Foske, then you click it. Let me do V1 so that you have idea of it. That is not just the GitHub name. You see it now. Switch to new branch. Do git status. And then on branch Solomon, nothing to commit. You see that your branch is up to date or something, because this is not linked yet to the upstream, which is the remote. Because don't forget, in your repo here, you only have one branch. Even if you refresh, we have created the second branch, but it's not here there because we have not pushed it to it. Always remember to push. If not, if you commit there and you don't push it, it won't be here, and then you may lose access to that later if you lose anything with your system. So let's go back. So in such a case, we want to make the changes, yes, first, or I do prefer I create it as it without making any changes first. Let's do, I think, git set up stream u, or is it u? Origin then the name. I hope I get it. So like I said, you can forget, and so this is the name. Just make sure you copy it and paste. What that you are trying to do first is you want to push this because it has code to create that branch first. So any other thing, you just be pushing it easily to it. So let's see if I get it. Oop. Set git set up stream. So like I said, you can forget. You can quickly or easily ask your AI or you preset sheet and things like that. So code to git command to set new up stream. Right. let's see. So those are what I'm saying. I don't think I have it here yet. Maybe I will add it for you. But it's also important when you are dealing with branch. Let me see if this, if not, I can just use AI and to get it done. So use Presage and can support decentralized search and in token as well. So you can ask for my referral if you're interested. Oh, you can see it. Git push. Oh, this ought to be double. So I even got the something, but double. That's it. So that one, you know it, how it works. You can forget the precise. So this one up to be double dash. Yeah, not single. Let's try it now. Hopefully I get it right. Poop. Papa. Set. Git push. I imagine. I forgot the push, man. Push, yeah. Let's give it a try. So at times, if it fails, you retry because maybe your network or something, or maybe you don't have access. It will tell you you can authorize your accounts. You see it? So it's push. And now, compared to before, when you just say on branch Solomon Foskey v1, nothing. If I do that same git status now, look at what will happen. You see, now your branch is up to date with, so it's now just the same thing it was doing with the main. You see that their origin, then I've told the origin is your local version, then the head is in between that point. So if it's the same, then you have, this is your remote on GitHub. So if we look at the other one we have been, you see, your branch is up to date with origin/main, but now it's origin/this. And if we do git branch again, enter, do you see it? That we now have main and we have this, and the star one is the branch you are currently on. You see it compared to this. You see it now. So we are on this branch, and if we come back here, I usually like to duplicate so we can compare. So you see, this now has two branches. If you click here, you can see it, main, and then let's refresh it. When you compare it to this one branch, it's now going to be having two branches. You see, some of those that were created. If you click on this as well, or here, it will just open it, and then you see no difference, because that's what we just like copy it. But now this is what we now work on without touching the main, because this main, we want to reserve it so that any changes they make, we can always have it on our own. Even if we contribute and they approve it, they will push it to the main. Then we will update our main. When we have any other feature update, we'll follow the same step. So anything that we do with this main, please let it come from them. When it's a forked repo, when it's your own repo, good, you can adjust main or also do PR. But when it's not, that's the best way. If not, if you tamper with the main, then you will have issue. You understand my point now? So you preserve the main, and that's a very, very good ethic. All these things have some, what do we call it? Like ethic, or what do they call it? So it makes your life easier and more professional when you are contributing. So you can fumble with some of this initially, but just try to get better. I've done that before with some open source projects. So, and I keep learning and getting better before now. So that's it. Mistaking, like, but when you pay attention and adjust, you get better. So you can see it now. We now have 2 branches like this. So let's click here for this, and we remain on this for the main, so we can be comparing them. So now when you look here, this one is on main. No, yeah, this is full scale v1, you see, and you see it here, 3 v1, and it says what? This branch is up to date with, so it's tracking everything for you. That's why it's good to have forked it. And you can see how this thing helps you keep codes. The next thing is, now we can now go ahead to make our changes. So this is the first thing you should have done. Don't just make changes. So I think I copied the changes somewhere, so I can just clean this and fix this. So yeah, some of the changes I made then. I answered like 1 or 2 lesson questions. What happened? Wow. No. It seems it's pasted it. I don't want that. I want it. So I think it's done now. Yeah. Good. It's good to go now. So if I save and git status, then it tells me I have something, and soon I will see something like maybe modified there or something. So the next thing I just need to git add. Seems I never did that here. Git add, then dot, so it had every of the changes. If you want to add specific file only, you can have it here. I remember we also talked about git ignore, so you will have your git ignore also here, which we say there are some things you don't want to add to that repo, so you can play around that as well. So this is it here. Git add. Let's try this again. Git status is in green as usual. Then git commit -m, then in quotes responded to the project questions. You understand? I responded. So whatever you put it there, and then you do this, you status again, you see that it's now working and say you have 1 commit. So the next thing you want to do is git push. So you just push straight. If you just do git push without doing that first one, it may not work because you don't have that branch up there, so you cannot just push to it. So that's why it's good. Once you have done that once, then push and all those things. You can see it now. And there's something called git pull. Pull means maybe there are some other people working on that repo. They have made changes. You can pull. If I do git pull, it will tell me no because already up to date. If there's any changes, you bring it and then you can merge it. You can merge it together. So now we have this. Let's git status again. Cool. We have everything up to date. Let's go back here and give it a try. Do you see it instantly? Add recent pushes 3 seconds ago. So this is the repo for, you see it now, and it's now saying it's 1 commit ahead of where we clone it, we fork it, sorry, the programming. So Do you see it now? Solomon Foskey. Compared to before. But you notice if I close this main one, it also said it had recent pushes. But even if I refresh this, all this response, nothing will change. That's the essence of version, because the main now is totally different from this. So each of them are different things. You don't push on someone, let's just go here. You have to do a PR to merge it to this. So that keep each code separate. So you see it now that the changes wasn't here, but under, even though it's the same repo, but on this branch the changes is now totally showing. So Solomon Foskey, founder, the programming, and then you see me, I've done some response. I learned about Web3 involved response. In this lesson I learned, you understand, that's how you do your project as well. And you fix your image, you place this. So make sure the URL, if you don't do it, your project won't be approved and no certification. So I think you've learned a lot here as well, contributing to. So now is now time, you have done yours, you have fixed the bug or whatever you want to contribute. It's now time to let them know. As of now, they don't know, because even if I come here, Spotlight projects, see, so add a recent push, is because it's the same account. If not, I won't, you understand my point? I won't see it. Yes, because I'm using, is the same account I have access to that one. For them, they won't see it. For them to see it, you need to do a PR pull request. So let's quickly do that. To do a PR, it said compare and pull request to give you the option. You also have it here. Here you see contribute. Instead of this one is, you want to take the code from them and sync it, and you should be doing that in main. Then you see open pull request. So contribute, open pull request, because this one in some time to disappear. So if you don't see it, maybe it's like an hour, 3 hours after before you come back here, you should just use contribute and say, I didn't see this. You can see it here. So this branch is one commit ahead. Open pull request. Let's open it. You see, so add title, then add description. Make sure you describe what the pull request is about. Then you see it, base, that's the repo, which is the programming, and you have for Solomon. But here now we want to push. You can push to your own, but there's no need of pushing to your own. You want to push to them. So main, when they approve it and update it, then you can sync back to your own main, and your main is updated. When you want to contribute another thing, you you create branch directly from the main, not this branch, so that it has up to date with them, and then you repeat the cycle. So add this it, compare, then you want to send it in, create pull requests. I don't think it will allow me to approve it. If it will, let's see. Because usually it doesn't want you that created the pull request to approve. So you can see. So you see now that it's saying merge. It's bringing merge. Don't be confused. You won't ever see this. I'm saying merge because don't forget my same account is an admin to that same the programming, but this gives you an idea of what the other people at the other hand will see. So they will see if they have done put any check that your code must pass to ensure you don't break their code. All those code, you see this branch has no conflict. So something like this must come up. If it doesn't come up, they will tell you to adjust your code to meet up. So that's why you always make sure you read their contribution guideline first, because there may be things you need to set up. If you don't have it up, you will find they will reject your PR, because if you are not able to have everything fixed. It won't be mergeable. So merge the pull request. So now let's try and go back here. If I refresh this, which is the actual Solomon Foske, you know, this one is already on the program. So from Foske, let's try and duplicate. You see that this is showing nothing again. Let's now go to here, but this is up to date. This branch is one commit ahead, you remember? So you see it, that this here now you don't see anything like match. So but here we have pull requests. So those people will see this and get email that somebody already sending a pull request, and see it can be open. Once they approve or reject it, it will go under close. But now it's still open, and you can even pull more changes. Any changes you do will go into this. So you can pull more changes to this same as long as they have not closed it. So once they close it, make sure you update your branch. We try to see something like that and create a new branch. Don't try to push again to the close. But if they have not closed, don't create a new branch. Keep adding and pushing to this same, so they can be tracking the changes you are doing here each time. So for example, now because I've already created the pull request, let's do something. So if I want to answer this smart contract, I learned about smart contracts. So as a beginner, I'm trying to pull you through those scenarios. If you can go through this content over and over and try it, then you will learn a lot. So you can create a demo organization yourself, so that you create and test all these things without direct open source first. Yeah. Git status, git add, git status, git commits, respond to project question 3 or something. So just to make a difference, then push git status, then push. So like git fetch, no, it shouldn't just fetch, ask me later. That's what I was saying, to pull new something new, should be doing it manually first, so you don't break your code. Git add, no, we've done that. I want to git push, yeah. If I git pull now, because there's no changes there, it was on my own system, say everything is clear. You see, already up to date. But now let's git push. So I want to push up there. Yeah, you can see it now that is pushed, and immediately there was an update here. You see, responded to project question 1, responded to project question 3. So you see that it added to it and instantly did the something, because this has not been matched already. So it's keep pushing. So that's how you contribute. If those people say make this correction, don't go and create another branch. Just make sure you push to that. If you have deleted, re-clone your own forked repo, then cd git move into that branch, and then you have this. You see it as many changes we make. If I click here now, you see the changes we did here. You see it, I learned smart contract. So everything will be well detailed. So let's assume those people now said, oh, you have done well. They click on merge, they confirm. You see pull request successfully merged, and this change to purple. And if they click here, your pull request has moved from open to close. So it's already done. And what that means is that they have moved your code to become part of the main code. Let's look now. Do you see it now? That I learned about blockchain. You see, unlocking blockchain, the lesson. Then this one, I learned about smart contracts. Do you see what I'm saying now? So all these things are already there. Now, and if I scroll down, Solomon Foskey. Now, to round this up, if this branch now, you may just leave it or discard it or something. So this branch now, let's go back from there. It's like we are done with it because good, congratulations, they have merged our open source contribution. So that one is done. Can go back to main. And this is what I'm saying. This branch is 3 commits behind. So your main now is now behind. You know, you forked it. They have updated their own main. For example, now this is it. If we update this now, you see it, that is now saying those things you did responded to 3, and then everything is there. You can see it now, everything is here. So the same thing, you can now come here, sync, and update the branch. Do you see it now? And your branch is up to date again. So if you want to contribute another time after the closed one, it's as simple. You already have this. You clone. If you don't have it again, make sure you do what? You git check out. Check out. So now what happened is your branch is up to date. Git status. I'm coming. I want to switch. Git checkout main. Yeah. I want to go back to main. I'm done with that. You see, you put the name. So now we're already back on main. You get what I'm saying now? You can see it switched to main. And if we do git branch, we see that we are now switched back to main, but we have this. So assuming we want to still work on it, maybe they have problem, they want to fix it, we want to fix, then you go back to it. But now the main, now the issue with that main is the main you have in your system is behind this one. This is your main, because your main now also was behind. You have updated it. So you have some things to update. So the best thing, let's say I want to do another contribution. Before I do that, I make sure this is up to date. With this branch is up to date. Then I come back. If I'm not just cloning, I just do git pull. You see what will happen now? Do you see it? One file change. This, instead of saying all done before, it's now pulling. And then if I do git status, everything is now up to date. If I try to pull again, it will tell you that there is nothing there. Both what you have there and what you have offline, they are on the same level. Do you see how cool? All these things you need to be careful with them. And this is the core thing about open source programming, contribution, and it could be confusing. But if you watch the video, I spent time for both the part 1 of it and the part 2. The first one you do, create your Git and everything, and now you are able to contribute to an open source. So if you got question, don't forget, ask in the specific lesson comment. Not on the Discord is for you to meet other Web3 developer, collaborate, get updates from DPE official and things like that. But specific lesson support directly from the author like me, you had better ask, because that will also help other students from asking the same question. Before you ask, make sure you read existing question and make sure they don't have the same thing to guarantee getting response. So we have this up to date. So now that lastly you want to contribute again, you can always switch back. If I do git check out this branch, copy, paste, you see it has switched. If I do git branch, you see. So but now that branch is gone, even if I delete or something. So but you may just want to leave it for record purpose. So here now I want to contribute again. They have approved that rule. They now trusted me. I want to add more. They may even have requested for more feature or giving me gigs or job or offer or something. So but still I need to contribute to my account. Through that case now I will need to do what? Git checkout back to main. So I'm on main git pull. Always remember that once you have that update, something is always up to date with this, then you git pull, everything is cool. Then you git what? Check out dash b dash the name of the new branch. Let's say I want to call that one copy paste v2 or whatever. Then the journey starts again. Git status, do you see it? Git branch, and you see. So this one now is always make sure you, because wherever you branch from, the new repo will start from where that code end. Everything does. So don't go and branch from another branch. Once always branch for the main, except you know what you're doing, so that you are always up to. That's why the main is the only thing you should always make sure is sync with those people's or those open source. Once that is sync, git pull it. Once that is done, you are ready. Then open up a new branch, and as many as possible. Then the cycle remain is the same all over. Hope you've really learned a lot. And now, as a beginner, because I think we are ending I think the next one we just talk about AI tools to help you better in this Web3 development journey. And I hope by now you're starting getting a feel that, oh, you're a programmer, you can now start learning different programming languages. And then, because in all those things you'll be using these tools, you see how important this terminal was. Even either you are using it alone here directly, or you are using it inside the IDE, how the IDE is important, how important GitHub is. All those things you have learned it well now. So I remain Solomon Foske of the Programming University. Keep the programming spirit alive, your assurance to succeed as a programmer in the long term. And please always do good to humanity and nature with your knowledge and programming skill to make the world and the universe a better place for us all. Peace, and see you next lesson.